we'll see this endless opportunity to give, right? If we're around someone and they're in some level of discomfort, pain, if they're expressing their version of a call for love, what is the appropriate response? Love. Okay, so in A New Earth in the Language, Eckhart would avoid the word love. He would say, we bring acceptance to that situation. Perhaps we bring appreciation to that situation, like appreciating this person acting out as a way of inviting us to give. It's an invitation to give. Remember, everything is, our world is no longer for getting from. We don't need to get something from this other person at all. We don't need to get recognition. We don't need to get acceptance. We don't need to get appreciation. We don't need to get anything because it's coming from inside us. Okay. As you walk in the world, you're receiving this level of appreciation and enthusiasm from the universe, going, wow, thank you. Thank you for being the window, the portal. Thank you for being the bridge. Thank you for being the way that I, the great I am, can express itself in this situation. So again, our practice is to learn, cultivate stillness, okay, oneness, the divine arising from stillness. Oneness can move through us into the situation if we learn to be still. Being still means to listen, pay attention, right? Whenever we're tempted to react in a situation like, oh, this person's causing me trouble, or oh, this person is attacking me in some way, it's like shifting that recognition to know this person's giving me a gift. This person is offering me an invitation, this opportunity to be still and then to express from a base level of acceptance, ideally with appreciation, which would be love, compassion, kindness, generosity, all of these attributes, aspects of love, okay? Love's presence wants to move through us in any situation, because that's what love's presence acknowledges, that what it's seeing through your eyes is simply a call for love. Everything always is a call for love. Everything you see. So it's kind of like, wow, the honest response to a call for love is love. And it's actually very easy to do when we realize that the infinite is using us as a conduit for love's expression. We don't have to have any great capacity to love. Love is. Love is present if we allow it to be. Again, we make that choice. We're either the conduit or we fall back into an egoic position of defensiveness. Okay, so again, this is the practice, is to be paying attention and recognize when we're tempted to fall back into another state. Again, this is part of what community is here for, is to support us as we practice. A key here is to say to someone, okay, we should have something up on the wall saying, as you step into this room, into the sacred space, check your tribal and egoic condition at the door, leave it, hang it on the hook over here. And, if you need it, if you feel whatever, that you need to pick it up to some way defend yourself. Okay, then you're leaving the sacred space. Okay, in the sacred space, we're here to honor each other as the kings and queens that we are, the princesses. I call my daughter everyday princess, and she acknowledges me as Sun King. It's like we want to practice acknowledging each other as, again, reflections of the same glory, the same divine magnificence. Because if we can do this with others, it's simply evidence that it's in us. right? And of course, if we can't see it in others, if we can't see the holy opportunity that they're extending to us, then again, we're closed to the recognition of our function. Simplicity, okay, means there's a singularity of the one thing. There's only one thing that inspires our daily life. One thing. So learning to remember that one thing, oh, there's one thing. There's one thing I'm being called to do. It's so simple, it's so beautiful, it's so powerful. It's unstoppable because of its simplicity. Okay? Remember, simplicity is the secret to great success. Okay, because it's wielding great power. Simplicity is coming directly from the unmanifested, directly from the divine, God, whatever you want to call it. Simplicity, again, we cultivate the ability to be still and then allow this magnificence to flow through us as simplicity. Remember what Jesus said, of myself I am nothing, the Father he doeth the works. We recognize in our emptiness, we've learned to empty ourselves of all these interference patterns, all these egoic, whatever, manipulations. And remember, the ego's function is to deny and project this divinity elsewhere. Once you learn to receive it, you stop denying it, you recognize where it is, and what it is, and why it is, and what you are. We are indispensable in the manifestation of this divinity in our world. We are indispensable. It cannot show up without our participation. In the old days, wow, you'd recognize a miracle. Oh, we didn't know at that time that we were responsible for the miracle. It couldn't happen without our participation, without our recognition. You might think it's someone else doing something that is miraculous, but you wouldn't see it unless it was in you. The capacity for what would appear to be a miracle. Again, eventually, once we really arrive in this state of consciousness, there's no such thing as a miracle. A miracle is ordinary. It's ordinary. The power of love's presence, the power of healing, the power of transformation, whatever you want to call it. That's what's ordinary. That's what's expected of you. Okay. We're called to be these magnificent splinters of this divine light, walking in the world, reflecting, demonstrating eternity, reality. All right, so it's a pretty holy function, and it's, again, we're remembering, if we're really doing this practice, that it's as common as common as a stone. It's ordinary. This majesty is ordinary in a new earth. It's the new normal. It is what is normal. Okay, so, and we see it everywhere. You could look at any situation close to you or globally and go, it's all the same thing. There's just this majestic call for love's expression. And guess what? In this moment, I'm it. I'm the one the world is calling for. Always, I am, I am, I am. This is the only mantra you need to say. I am. You are the solution to any problem. You hold the keys to the kingdom. Any situation, especially once you see it in the simplicity that it is, there's only one thing going on. There's a flow of energy from a place of high concentration to a place of low concentration. okay? And you're the conduit through which this energy flows. That's always what's happening. It's the second law of thermodynamics. It's what runs this whole energetic universe. This law that energy will always flow from a place of high concentration, which is the source, call it God, call it whatever you want. This energy will flow from that source through you into any situation in the world. If you say yes, if you say, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll be this representative. I'll be this ambassador, this emissary of light. You are it. So have a great day. Enjoy it. Enjoy the miracle that you are. I love you so much. Bye-bye.